then he asked several questions. So in that, he basically he asked about mainly explain about different things, and then finally he requested that please explain about creation. So that's what he mentioned. So that's till there we have seen. So Maitreya Muni, in response to Vidura's questions, he encourages Vidura, and he was appreciating Vidura. Like, Vidura, you have asked very wonderful questions, and you yourself are you yourself are very much devoted to the Supreme Lord. You are actually born from Srila Vyasadeva. So maybe you are aware of the story that Vyasadeva gave birth to Dhritarashtra and Pandu, and then Vidura. So Dhritarashtra and Pandu, they were born through the legitimate wives, and Vidura was born through Dasi of Vichitravidya. So this is a history in Mahabharata. So, but he is saying that you are born from Vyasadeva, so therefore you are very wonderful. And actually you are Yamaraj only, and you came as Vidura because of Mandavya Muni's Shapa. So this is mentioned that Mandavya Muni, he was like a great sage. So once he was kind of he was a great sage, and he was engaged in his austerities. So that time, one king's soldiers have come. They are looking for a thief, and this thief sold something, I think some horse, and they kept it besides Mandavya Muni. So these king's soldiers, they have come, and they saw that besides Mandavya Muni, horse is there which was stolen. So they thought that Mandavya Muni only stolen that horse, and they arrested Mandavya Muni, and they gave severe punishment to him. He was pierced with the sharp. He was pierced with sharp instruments in his body many times. So, and in this way, he was punished heavily, and he was about to die. That time, king came to know that Mandavya Muni is being punished. So that time, he immediately comes and releases him and asks him forgiveness. So Mandavya Muni, he forgives him, and he understood that because of some activity of his life or previous life, he was punished like that. So he went to Yamaraj, and he told why I was punished like that. So then Yamaraj told that, oh, in your childhood you used to play with butterflies, and you used to pick them with your with all the grasses there. So that's why you are also punished like that Yamaraj tells. So then Mandavya Muni, he becomes angry, and he tells that for my childhood innocence, I was punished like this. Childhood, I don't know anything. So therefore, you have wrongly judged and wrongly give punishment. So therefore, I curse you to be born as a human. Like that, he cursed. So therefore, Yamaraj, he was born as Vidura. So that is one of the reason it was given. But it's more or external reason. But Yamaraj was actually a devotee of the Lord, and he always wanted to hear about Krishna Katha, but he doesn't have time, or he wanted to he doesn't have any time to perform bhakti and all those things. So with the this curse, he was born as Vidura. He got the association of the Lord, and he was was now able to hear about the Lord and all the bhakti he could perform. So that is also like one of the plea we can say. So like that's how like you are only Amaraj and you came as a Vidura, like he is mentioned. So and you are so such a great devotee that the Lord he remembered you and he told me he left instructions with me to impart to you. So again, last time we also saw that Uddhava also told that Lord remembered you, and Maitreya Muni is also saying that the Lord remembered you and left instructions with me to give it to you. So therefore, now I will narrate that pastime of creation. The Lord has exhibited so much power in creation. I will narrate that pastime of creation again. That please hear. So like that, he is narrating the creation, this pastime. So here again the process of creation, he starts narrating. So we'll discuss little, understand this. So because because this is how the creation takes place. We can understand so many philosophical points by studying this. So here he mentions that uh, through his yoga maya means maya, through his yoga maya, sometimes that word yoga maya can imply this internal energy and sometimes it can also refer to the external energy. So here it refers to his external energy, yoga maya, which is like it's like a reflection or it's a it's like expansion of the internal energy. So it is like some portion of his internal energy which comes as an external energy, material maya. So through that material maya, he creates this whole world and he maintains and destroys. So everything takes place through the Lord's Maya. So these are the pastimes of the Lord in connection with the external Maya. So pastime of the Lord in connection with the internal energy that takes place in Vaikunta, that takes place in Goloka, in his internal world. But this material creation, maintenance and destruction takes place in connection with the external Maya. So before creation, the Lord exists alone. So in the form of like he is existing in the form of Bhagavan and also has Paramatma and Brahman according to viewpoint how they perceive. So Lord exists before the creation and where before any desire to creation, any desire to create bodies for the jivas was absent, he was existing alone. So that means the creation in this material world, we are seeing that we are having all the 24 elements like we see, we perceive all these things. So all these things are taking place under the jurisdiction of these 24 elements, which are like after creation. But Lord is existing before these 24 elements. So that means he is transcendental to all these 24 elements. And he exists as Bhagavan, who is full with 6 opulences. Bhagavan, that word Bhagavan, implies that who has complete opulences. Opulences in the form of Aishwaryasya Samagrasya Viryasya. He has complete beauty, complete power, complete knowledge, complete renunciation, complete vairagya, or complete knowledge. So like that, 6 complete natures are complete powers are mentioned. So he is having all those things. So that is Bhagavan. So and he at that time, all the jivas are merged in his body. So like there is like Vaikuntas which Mahavishnu existed. That Mahavishnu, he appears as Karnodaksha Vishnu, and through him all the creation and maintenance and destruction takes place. So at the time of destruction of all the universes, all the jivas, they merge into the body of Karanadaksha Vishnu. They are in subtle form as jivas in the body of Karanadaksha Vishnu. So he existed, this Karanadaksha Vishnu, he existed where alone and all the jivas are merged into him. So when there was no desire for him to create, so they are all merging in him. So when that desire to create that came, so that time he was looking for his Maya Shakti. So although the Lord has internal Shakti, Swarup Shakti in the form of Lakshmis and others, at the time of creation, he was looking for Maya Shakti because only Maya Shakti can create this whole world. So when he glanced at that Maya Shakti. So through his Maya Shakti, when he glanced, so that creates this whole universe. So this Maya Shakti is said to be composed of so many causes and effects. So because it produces so many elements which we are able to perceive here, and which belongs to the Lord, that is called as Maya. And through this energy, he creates this whole material universe. And how he impregnates he is like Lord of Vaikuntha, Mahavishnu. He expands as Purusha, first Purusha as Karanadaksha Vishnu, and he is having full of power. So at certain point of time, he placed all the jivas into Maya, which became agitated by the gunas. So Maya is having the aspect of pradhana. So they are agitated by the glance of the Lord with the effect of kala. So that time, the jivas which are lying within Karnadaksha Vishnu, they are placed into that pradhana. So, and these jivas also have karma and svabhava, which are like ignorance, which they are stored in the form of karma and svabhava. So in this way, the Karnadaksha Vishnu is placing the jivas into pradhana. So this is called as like Lord's glancing and producing agitating the pradhana, which produces all the subsequent creation. So when pradhana, which is in equilibrium state, when it is agitated, so the three modes are in inactive state. So that time, through the glance of Vishnu, they are getting agitated. So when the living entities, along with their karma and swabhava, with the action of kala, when all these things mixed, they produce a substance called as Mahatattva. So Mahatattva has arisen. So this Mahatattva is a substance which has all the universe that is created in its seed form. So this is called as seed from which the whole universe arises. For example, we have any seed like mango seed is there. So in that mango seed, whole tree is there, right? But when it is planted and applied water, that mango tree will come. So similarly, this Mahatattva is containing it is like seed of the whole universe. The whole universe comes through this Mahatattva. So, and this Mahatattva, he is like, it destroys the ignorance which is there previous to the time of destruction. So when the previous destruction happened, so much tamas has pervaded everywhere, and this Mahatattva will destroy all that tamas to create again this whole universe. So, and the same Mahatattva, it is again glanced by the Supreme Lord, and when it is glanced again, the Supreme Lord's energy acts, and through that, the that Mahatattva again transforms into one more substance called as Ahankara. So this Ahankara is a substance like this Mahatattva is mainly in Sattva-guna, and when moods are little bit agitated, it transforms into what is called as Sutra Tattva in Rajas. And when it is transformed into Ahankara, which is like predominantly in Tamas. And this Ahankara also, when it is transformed again with the help of Supreme Lord's like glance, when it is in the predominated by mood of goodness, it produces the Devatas and Jnana Shakti. So Jnana Shakti comes from Ahankara in the mode of goodness, and through that Jnana Shakti, the Adideva aspect of the universe, which has the 10 sense Devatas and mind, they will be produced. And Ahankara in the mode of passion, they will produce Kriya Shakti, so which produces Adhyatma aspect of the universe, which generates 10 senses through which we can work. And it also produces Prana. Prana is the one which moves all our bodies, everything. And intelligence. Intelligence is also comes from the Ahankara in the mode of passion. And Ahankara in the mode of ignorance produces Karya Shakti, Dravya Shakti, Karya Shakti. So Dravya Shakti, which produces Adibhuta aspect of the universe, which is like all the elements and tanmatras, which is like physical aspect of the universe. So Adibhuta means physical aspects. Adhyatma is like sense aspect. Adideva is the sense devatas, which actually makes these senses and perceive these Adibhutas. So in this way, these three are the ones which are running the world. So this also we have discussed in previous canto also a little bit. So again, this is described. So all these 5 tanmatras, 5 elements, as we have seen, Bhumi, Rapo, Nalo, Vayu, Kham. These are the 5 elements, and each have the progressive natures of the previous element. So that's how these again how they are these elements are created, and these sense devatas are created. So all these, so through total there are 24 elements that are created, and for all these elements, for all these things, there are 10 sense devatas which are also created. Now, so just by like these ingredients are created, but in order to manifest from through ingredients the whole universe, they need to combine and form. So but they are on their own, these elements they are not able to mix on their own. So just like for creating any recipe, we need to cook them, right? These are all the ingredients that are ready, but to create the universe, they need to combine together and form in certain way, but they are not able to do on their own. So all these devatas, they started praying to the Karanadaksha Vishnu here. So these elements, these are all the ones who are creating the bodies for all the living entities and all the universe. So they are not able to combine together, so they started offering prayers. So here sometimes one may say that, oh, these are the devatas actually, which we know, like Indra, Agni, Surya, these are all the powerful devatas, which are in charge of all the elements. So like one may say, like someone says that, oh, all these devatas, they are creating all these bodies for the living entities, and through this body the living entities are performing so many sinful activities and therefore suffering. So therefore these sense devatas, they are responsible. So like that, if someone is objecting, these devatas are all bad because of them only everyone is suffering. So but one should not say like that, because like devatas are the one who are supplying bodies to all the living entities. Through those bodies, people can perform various sadhanas like jnana, nishkam karma, and attain liberation. And people can perform bhakti through all these senses, through all these elements, and attain prema for the Lord and go back to Godhead. So all these things are provided by these devatas. So therefore, and basically they are the creators of the bodies, and it is up to the living entities how they utilize those bodies. So for example, Ganges water is very pure and very merciful. So whoever approaches Ganges water, it purifies those people. And Ganges water also enters into so many nice trees, into the seeds of nice trees, which produce nice fruit and nourishes them. But the same Ganges water, it can also enter into poisonous tree and which can kill humans. So it is not fault of Ganges water, but it depends on the how the receiver receives it badly receives. So similarly, all these sense devatas, they create bodies for all the living entities, but it's up to the living entities how they utilize their bodies. So they can utilize for good activities, perform nice activities and attain higher positions, or perform bhakti and go back to Godhead, or they may perform sinful activities and they may suffer. So it's up to the recipient. So these devatas are not the cause of the suffering. They are all devotees of the Lord, and they are completely dependent upon the will of the Lord. So they execute like that. So in this way, they should be considered. And they are now started offering prayers to Karnavishaya Vishnu. So at that time there is no creation. So all the elements are not there. But still they have suddenly had all these senses and bodies by the will of the Lord. So they are completely depending upon the will of the Lord. So they started offering prayers. So their prayers, he uh, he mentions. So their prayers, we can see the Lord's purpose of creation is actually compassion, because the living entities, they can enjoy a lot of pleasure in association with the Lord, but uh, they are not able to attain that pleasure with the Lord, but they want to enjoy. So, in order to facilitate the desires of the living entities, whatever they want to do, either they want to enjoy or they want to perform bhakti, everything is being facilitated by the Lord. So, if He doesn't provide any facilities, when living entities even cannot enjoy materially also. So all these facilities He is providing, and He is also providing facilities for them to go back to Godhead by giving knowledge. So all these things He is providing. So that's why it is seen as a compassion. So all these controlling deities. So these controlling deities, they are all like Yama, or like Indra, Surya, Soma, Brahma, Shiva, like they are the controllers of even subtle elements like mind, intelligence. Intelligence is controlled by Brahma. False ego is controlled by Rudra, and mind is controlled by Soma. Chitta is like in that way. Our eyes are controlled by Surya. Our hands are controlled by Indra. Ears are controlled by Devata. So all these devatas, they are taking shelter of Lord's lotus feet. In their prayer, mainly they are mentioning that how they are taking shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, by which they will be able to come out of material life. So that's what their prayers are mainly. Nanamate deva padarabindam प्रपन्नतापोपशमानपत्रं यन्मूलकेतायतयोऽञ्जसोर संसारदुःखं बहिरुक्षिपन्ति. So, Nanama Te Deva Padarvindam. O Deva, we take shelter of your lotus feet, Pada Aravindam. What is the effect of taking shelter of your lotus feet? Prapanna Tapa Upashamata Patram. It acts like umbrella when someone is having lot of heat. Umbrella will protect from that heat, from that tapa. So similarly, people who have surrendered to your lotus feet, all their miseries will go away. And samsara dukkha will be kept, thrown away to far away distance. So therefore, people who have taken shelter of your lotus feet, for them suffering of material life will go away. So that's why we take shelter of your lotus feet. And this lotus feet also, uh, they, without taking shelter of your lotus feet, people in this world, they cannot attain any peace. So that peace in this world will come from taking shelter of your lotus feet. And even with knowledge, like people, if they like, even if they have so much knowledge of material life or any other thing, but if still they don't take shelter of your lotus feet, they don't attain any sharma, peace. So therefore, even with knowledge, savidyam, we completely take shelter of your lotus feet to attain knowledge. Your feet are the source of all knowledge. And yeah, like people, like the holy people, they all take shelter of your lotus feet. Margantiyate mukapadmanide chandas supannai rashayo vivikte yasyagamarsho dasaridvaraya padam padam tita pada prapanna. These great devotees, Rashayo Vibhakti, Rashaha, in their secluded places, they take shelter of uh, your lotus feet. They take shelter of your lotus feet, which is a place of pilgrimage. Tirtha Padaha, your lotus feet is a place of pilgrimage. And it gives rise to Saritvaraya, Ganges, which is the best of rivers, which destroys all the sin. Yasyaga Marshoda. And the sages, Rishiyo, they when they follow the Vedic literature, when they follow the bird of the Vedas situated in the nest of your lotus mouth. So from Lord's mouth only all the Vedic literature has come. So when the sages, when they follow those instructions of the Vedas, which is compared to a Suparna, which is like bird, so they set for these lotus feet through following that. So that means even the great sages are searching for your lotus feet, which will vanquish all the sins. And the great river like Ganga has come, which can destroy all the suffering. So in this way, we also take shelter of your lotus feet. And your lotus feet, by these feet, when one takes with bhakti, when one hears the glories of your lotus feet and with your glories, they attain the sweetness of your knowledge, and they also attain the distaste for this material world. So by developing these knowledge and distaste, they will become wise people. So how? By taking shelter of bhakti, by hearing process, they people will develop jnana and vairagya. So through which they are completely become wise. And these we also take shelter of your lotus feet. The who you who have taken so many avatars, for doing creation, maintenance, and destruction of this world. And we, this lotus feet, just by remembering, just by taking shelter of these lotus feet, it awards fearlessness, courage, and it awards remembrance of you. So all these benefits of lotus feet we attain. And this by worshipping your lotus feet, even unqualified people, they will become qualified. So generally, you are very difficult for people who are very much strongly attached to their body, their houses, and thinking of me and mine. But the same people, when they take shelter of the your lotus feet, who have completely they are engaged in glorifying your pastimes, remembering your pastimes, so they will be able to achieve success. So in this way, the qualified people are who have taken shelter of bhakti process, and by that they all their material qualities will go away, and they will be able to perceive you. They will be able to glorify your pastimes. And then they got that पानेन ते देव कदा सुधाय प्रवृद्ध भक्त्या विशदाशयाये वैराग्यसारं प्रतिलभ्य बोधं यदाञ्जसान्वीयुरकुण्ठदिष्णं Panena, so they drink the Kada Sudaya, your nectar of your Kada through their ears. So generally we drink through our mouth, but we here it is like Panena Tedeva Kada Sudaya, drinking through ears. Pravruddhya Bhaktya Vishadashayaye, with their increased bhakti, with pure bhakti, they attain the complete knowledge, which is like Vairagya Saram Pratilabdya Bodham. They attain Vairagya and complete knowledge, by which Yatanja Sanvi Rakunta Dikshnam, by which they attain the nectar of your pastimes. They attain the Vaikunta. Akunta Dishnam means which doesn't have any anxieties. They attain the Vaikunta by simply by hearing. But if people, if they are if they don't take shelter of your bhakti, but only desire liberation, they have to they are there is lot of distress in their process, and if they don't have bhakti, there is only pain. So in this way they suffer. So in this way, only by bhakti they attain you, like that they glorify. In this way, they completely glorified the lotus feet and the process of bhakti, all these great devatas that we have discussed. Now they are putting forward their request. So what is our request? So generally, this is how we should pray to the Lord, that we are we praise the Lord and then express our desire. So it's not that directly we go to the Lord and start expressing our desire. We first express our praise, appreciation of the Lord, how He is helping us, how we are taking shelter of Him, and then express our desire. So now they started expressing their desire that, oh Lord, we want to we are currently in a disunited stage. That means we are not able to produce together, combine together and produce the universe. So, but we want to offer you so many objects, like we want to perform bhakti by offer you so many, by offering you so many objects like food and other things. And all the living entities also should perform so many sacrifices, so many things offering to you, such as some worthy offerings to you. So therefore, we want to produce this universe, and you can only bestow your mercy so that we can combine together and offer combine together and create this universe. You are actually the, you please enlighten us so that all these things we can create, and the so that we can, when they are created, we will be able to offer you all these commodities to you. You are actually the uh, source of all our, like we are devatas, and you are the source of all of us. But still, you are completely beyond this nature. You are unborn. You are like, you are not born. You are oldest. You are like existing prior to all the creation, and you are unchanged. You are eternally in the same form. And by your action, all these Mahat Tattva, they are all, we have all arisen. So please show us mercy and give us your knowledge and power so that we can render you this service of creation. So please direct us. So like that they prayed for the Lord so that he will act and produce creation. So that time the Lord, he understood their prayers. He is Antaryami. So he creates this whole universal form. So that is being described here in this chapter. So the process of creation is again expressed that so we know that elements have come, like 24 ingredients are there, right? So these ingredients, they were all suspended. They are not able to create, combine together. So that time he uh, he entered into all these 24 elements through his energy of cohesion. So that means he kind of mixed them through his energy, and also he entered in the form of time, and through time, and also he is Antaryami. He entered all those elements and he combined together. So through that Kriya Shakti, he awakened the dormant karmas of all the living entities and all the elements together. So through all of them, the universal form of the Lord has been created. So, so this is like when the Lord entered into these 23 elements through his energy and also through the time factor, and the living entities, dormant energies, dormant natures, they got agitated. Through all of them, by combining all of them, he formed what is called as a fetus or a universal form, which is in subtle form. And that universal form, that subtle universal form, he entered into that universal form as Garbhodaksha Vishnu. So this is like an anda which is like created. So this is like a gross, like whole universe which is in the form of anda. So in that, the Lord, the Karnodaksha Vishnu, he entered into it as Garbhodaksha Vishnu, and he uh, while and he filled half of that anda with water, and he lied down as Garbhodaksha Vishnu. So you can imagine this fetus or this form of universal form as a like a universe, like in a shape of a round globe or anda shape, where all the elements are combined, and inside there is a vacancy. So in that, the Lord filled half of them with the water, and he entered them as Garbhodaksha Vishnu. And this, when he entered into that as Garbhodaksha Vishnu, he remained there for 1,000 years without any activity. So within that universe for 1,000 universe. And at that time, he, after 1,000 years, he divided himself into three forms. One is called as Jiva Shakti, and another is called as Prana Shakti, and another is called as Atma Shakti, his own power. Through these three Shaktis, he has given rise to three aspects of the universe, called as Adhyatma, Adhibhuta, and Adhideva. So as previously we have seen, Adhibhuta corresponds to all the gross aspect of the universe, which is like sense objects and sense organs, which are like the like which are like the the perception, that all the gross senses that we see, eye, ear, which we are able to perceive. So these are referring to Adhibhuta aspect here. Adhyatma here referring to the subtle senses which make the gross sense organs perceive. And Adhideva is the sense devatas which facilitate this as action of perceiving these gross sense organs and senses. So this is like previously, like there are the 24 elements that now they are combined together, and these form these three aspects which will make this universe work. So that means for our sense of eye to work, there should be a gross sense organ which is like called as Akshini, which is like which we are able to see. And there should be sense object which is like light, which we are able to see. And there is internal sense organ for Akshini, like which is called as Chakshu, which is there in subtle way in our subtle body. And in order for that subtle body, subtle Chakshu to see this gross body, we require even external gross eye. And Surya Deva, who is Adhidevata, should facilitate that. Then only we will be able to see. So like that, for all the other senses also, these three aspects are required. So even if one of the aspect is missing, that sense will not work properly. So our ears, our nose, our tongue, everything is our activities like through which we perform walking, hearing, touching. So all these things, all these are all provided through these three aspects of the universe. So that he is manifesting. So that the Supreme Lord is manifesting. So in that, so this is like called as creation of the universal form. So universal form means like the Lord who is having Garbhodaksha Vishnu, from his lotus navel, the whole universe will develop. A lotus will come, and on which top of which the Brahmaji has appeared. So that lotus, before appearing, it existing in the form of a universal form. So that universal form has these three aspects, Adhyatma, Adhibhuta, and Adhideva. So now, in that universal form, there arose several places for all these devatas. So these devatas, they are having as previously we have discussed, there's like 10 different kinds of devatas are there, which are representing 10 sense devatas and 4 devatas for our subtle aspect, Manabuddhi, Ahankara, Chitta. So in that universal form, the divisions happen. So many so in the universal form, there are so many different apertures that are created. So that means you can imagine like a universal form, like a something like an some shape like anda, or some mass of matter, some shape. They're different, like just like in a fetus womb, different eyes are produced, ears are produced, so different limbs are formed. Similarly, in that universal form, different senses got differentiated. So first it is mentioned that mouth got differentiated. Then the presiding deity of the mouth is the Agni Devata. So that entered into that mouth, and through which the universal form could utter words. So that means universal form could perform activities, later on, all the living entities also, by the same aspect, will be able to perform those activities. So that's how the each sense devata is also explained. So similarly, the palate, the mouth got differentiated, and Varuna Dev has entered. By this, people can experience taste. Similarly, the eyeballs are created in the universal form, and with that, the presiding deity, the Sun Devata, he entered into that eyeball, and through this, the universal form could perceive the form. And the gross skin became differentiated, and then Vayu Devata has entered into that, and people by which people will able to perceive touch, and the ears got differentiated, and the presiding deity of the directions have entered, through which people can perceive the hearing, they can hear, and the gross skin has appeared, and the devatas of the plants who are like Adhisthana Devata for skin, they have entered, and through which people can perceive that sense of touch. So in this way, even for the universal form, the other aspects like legs and hands, they got formed, and the corresponding devatas like Indra, they have entered, and people, they are able to perform the activities of moving and buying and selling, all those things they are able to perform. So in this way, these Adibhuta, Adideva, Adhyatma, these are the three aspects through which we are able to perform, all our senses are working. So this, he has, the Vishnu, the Karanadaksha Vishnu has created, and even the subtle aspect, the heart is created, and in that heart, the presiding deity of the Buddhi, Brahmaji, has entered, by which the intelligence started working, and then the heart also became the mind. It is also seat for mind, and the presiding deity Moon Devata has entered, and mind has started its functions, and the Ahankara is also situated in that universal form, in that heart, and presiding deity Rudra, he has entered into that portion, and that Ahankara became. And the heart is also the location of Chitta, and the presiding deity of Chitta is Vishnu himself. So he has entered into that portion, and consciousness has obtained. So in this way, the universal form, different devatas have entered, and when that universal form finally manifested, so that only developed as the Swarga and Earth and the lower planetary systems, and all the devatas, they are appeared, and through that, like when the mode of goodness is predominant, that time the Swarga, people attain Swarga. When Rajas is predominant, people attain this earthly planet, and when Tamas is predominant, people attain lower planetary systems. So in this way, these things are appeared, and from the universal form, the Vedas have appeared, and all the different Varnas have appeared from that universal form, and people like from mouth, the Brahmanas have appeared, from the arms of universal form, Kshatriyas have appeared, from the belly, the Vaishyas have appeared, from the legs, the Shudras have appeared, and all these people, they perform all these activities in order to please the Lord. When someone performs service through their activity, through their Varna, the Lord is very much pleased. So all this Varnashrama that is created, the ultimate purpose is to please the Lord. That's explained in some shlokas. So they, according to their dharma, they perform, and they please the Lord, and by which they attain purification. So in this way, this whole universe is created, and the different people, living entities are created, their varnas are created. So in this way, I have explained you this full creation. So, and no one can understand the complete way how this universe got created, and no one can underestimate the glories of the Lord. All these things I have heard from my Guru. According to my intelligence, I am narrating all these things. So it is very difficult to understand the Lord's power, and it is difficult to narrate. But still, Maitreya Muni is saying that I will still glorify the Lord's power so that my speech will be purified. Tatapi kirtayamyanga yata mati yata shrutam kirtim hare swam satkartum giram anya vidasatim. Still, it is very difficult to estimate the power of the Lord by which He created this whole universe. But still, I will glorify according to my intelligence, according to how I have heard. Because by glorifying the Lord in this way, my tongue will be purified. Otherwise, my tongue engages in so many other activities which doesn't purify. So therefore, according to my ability, I will glorify. So like that he is saying. So this is very, very important. So we can glorify the Lord according to how much we know about Him, and by that we purify ourselves. So that is what he is saying. And actually the purpose of ears that we have is to hear about the glories of the Lord. Ekantalabham vachason pumsam sushlokamauler gunavadama Shrutescha vidvadvirupaprudayam kada sudayam upasamprayogam. Ekantalabham, the one purpose for which we have the ears, the purpose of ear is fulfilled by hearing about the glories of the Lord, which are nicely narrated in all the Vedas by the learned sages, and which is like Katha Sudayam Upasangra Yogam. When we are near to those Katha Sudha, nectar of that Katha, then we will be purified. That is we are fulfilling the purpose of our here. So even Brahmaji cannot understand the Lord's glories even after meditating for 1,000 years of complete mature yoga. So it's not possible to completely understand the Lord's glories. And what to speak of Brahmaji, even Lord himself cannot know his own extent of his glories, because his glories always will start increasing. So what can we say of others? So he is beyond the words, beyond the perception of our mind, and he is beyond even the perception of mind for even great devatas, controlling devatas like Brahaspati, Rudra, and others. So therefore, even they completely could not understand the Supreme Lord. So therefore, what is our duty is that we glorify according to our ability. So that's what we can do. So it's very difficult to understand the Lord, but as much as we can understand, that much we glorify. That's what he is mentioning. So whatever we could understand by hearing, whatever we could, that much we can say. Or it is very difficult for even us to understand complete glories of the Lord by hearing, because even great devatas, they are also not able to completely understand. So how much amount we can how much amount we can understand, that much amount we will try to understand. So in this way, Maitreya Muni has narrated about the creation of the elements and creation of the universe by Karanodakshaya Vishnu and Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. So now Vidura, after hearing, he asks further question, which is related to Jiva and Ishvara, how Jiva got bound up in this material world, and how Ishvara, what is his situation, so how he can understand their situation. So that Maitreya Muni dispels misconceptions about Ishvara and Jiva, and he recommends different processes that we will maybe continue in the next section. Stop here. Then anyone wants to add in?
Anybody has any questions?
Okay, so then maybe we'll continue.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Here for joining.
Thank
I wish you happy Ram Navami ahead. So this 30th, we are celebrating Ram Navami. So
Wish you the same, Prabhu. Happy Sri Ramanavami.
meditate for the first times Lord Ram this week.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Jai, Shri Gurudev ki Jai. Shri